Hey there friends, how's it going today? David Potts with Song Notes here, and a lead guitar lesson coming your way today for Duane Eddy's classic Rebel Rouser. Really fun song, lots of y'all have requested this one over the last couple years. Finally gonna teach it for you. I'll show you the main riff, it starts off in the key of E, and then I'll talk about how it changes key a few different times as the song moves along. It's a great way to practice, and if you do want to practice along with some audio tracks, I have a few sort of backing tracks, jam tracks you can use to practice this song at a steady tempo, a few different speeds as well. If you want something slower, medium tempo, or the full speed, I have that all for you at my website, songnotes.net, as well as some practice notes for this and a bunch of other lead guitar stuff you're going to want to check out if you want to learn this quicker and take these techniques further as you learn them. So let's dive on into it, and I will see you on the other side. All right, so we're zoomed in and looking at this first 4 measures that we're going to learn here. So if you can see, big picture, I have the tab. I have some finger suggestions as well and some other notes I want to call out here, because it's not just about which notes you play. It's kind of about how you approach them in some cases, and I'll give you tips on how to keep some of these strings quiet when we want them to be quiet. So let me play it through one time, and then I'll talk about what I'm doing here, okay? So with simple counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on there. One general tip I have whenever we're learning stuff like this is to look at all the notes, and if you can, kind of collect them into an inventory. Just as a general tip, it's going to do you lots of favors when you're learning this stuff. And if you look at the lowest possible note we play, it's this low E string, right? We're going to get that 2nd fret note on the 6th string, the 4th fret note on the 6th string. We have the open and the 2nd fret notes on the 5th string, right? And then we have the 4th fret, and then up to the 2nd fret there of the 4th string. If you played all those in order, okay, that's basically a good exercise you could do. This is all basically the E major scale. We're just omitting one note. I'll get to this a little bit later, but this is the kind of thing that's going to make your life easier if you get your fingers used to sort of playing with this sort of sandbox toys they're going to be using to build this riff, okay? Now, with that said, let's get into this riff and learn what's going on. That first thing we play, 2nd fret on the 6th string, we're going to be doing this bend. I kind of wrote it with the arrow going up, which moves the note up in pitch, and then we're going to go bend it back down to its original state, which is the arrow coming down. So a bend is basically when we pluck a string, and then we keep the contact with our finger in the fretboard, so the string keeps ringing out, but it's going to raise the pitch of the string while we bend it. Now in this case, we want to bend it up, and then bring it back down, and then go to the open low E string. We don't want to bend it too high, but just a little bend, kind of come down, and then low E string. It's going to give it a real bluesy kind of hinting at minor twang. Okay, and we're going to walk up to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Now this walk up, open 4th fret, open 2nd fret. I really recommend using your ring finger on the 4th fret notes and your index finger on the 2nd fret notes. Okay? And then we're going to walk it right back down, but when we walk down, this is something that trips me up when I was trying to memorize this. We're not going to go down the same steps we came up, meaning we're going to go from the 2nd fret, and we're not going to play the open 5th string. We're going to go to this 4th fret note, and then the open low E string. So, okay, a general tip too, when we walk it down, you can keep your finger on that 5th fret note if you want to, right? It's going to keep that string from ringing out. We don't want strings to ring out. So if we keep our finger there, it's going to just sort of keep that string nice and quiet while we sort of play those 6 string notes. And then we're going to play the open 5th string, and And when you do this, one general tip I have is to bring your thumb in and silence, just lean it against the 6th string ever so lightly. And that's going to silence that 6th string. So if you watch my index fingers and thumbs as I play the end of that 2nd measure and beginning of the 3rd measure, right? See how I silence that 6th string there, right? And then we're going to do a similar move, right? On the 5th string, open 4th, and then 2nd fret on the 4th string to the 2nd fret on the 5th string there. Okay, so a little motif or a little theme you might notice here is we're doing a lot of open string, 4th fret on a string, and then 2nd fret on the next string. Nice little bluesy move you can practice. 5th string. Okay, that's a nice little bluesy shuffle thing I cover in my blues course. But that's a little exercise you can do here. So far we have this. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3. Bend it down. Okay? Da, ba, da, ba. This next line starts the exact same. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. And really that 2nd line is just more of what we've already learned in that 1st line there. Now when you're practicing this first part, if you want to repeat it, what you're going to do is the very last note. You're not going to play the open E string like I have tabbed out. You're going to do the bend on that 2nd fret note, right? And then repeat the whole thing. That way you can do the E section just over and over and over again and get comfortable with it. So far, that's the main riff, right? Take it slow, learn the notes first. And once you get a handle on the notes and you can kind of start to play through them really slowly and not make mistakes, what you can do is head on over to my website. I have a few different jam tracks, audio jam tracks that are slow, and I have a video one as well. And it's a lot slower than the Duane Eddy recording, and it just will show you what chord you're on and everything. Get my practice notes, and you can sort of follow along. Read the tabs. The backing track will give you a steady tempo to follow, and you can be in good shape there. Now from there, we can get to the key changes, which I will do in a minute, but I want to talk about some ways we can have fun with this riff as a sort of practice exercise. As you who might be someone who wants to learn lead guitar, get fluent with this stuff, and have fun with this stuff. One trick you can do, and this is like a challenge you can do for yourself, is play this all on one string, okay? What it's gonna do is force you to kind of use your ear, right? How would I play that first phrase on one string, right? Well, I just keep going up and, right? A trick is the 5th fret of the low E string is gonna equal the open 5th string, right? So that means those last 2 notes are open to 2nd fret on the 5th string, and I can basically just mimic those by doing 5th fret to 7th fret on the low E string. So, 2 and 3, right? And then we go back down. And then how does it start in the next line? Bum, bum. Okay, I guess I was wrong. It's 5th fret, right? So, 2 and 3, Now what do we do here? Well, we're gonna jump up 4 frets again. All right, so 5 to 9 to 12, 5, 9, 12, 7, 2, 1. Okay, so you can play the entire riff on one string. Again, it's a great ear exercise, and I have it written up in my tab here. And this is a great way just to see what scale this is using. If you know how to play your major scale on one string, which I teach over in my lead guitar course on my website, right? That's the E major scale on one string. This whole riff is using every note in that scale except the major 7th. So we don't have to worry about the major 7th. We're just going to use open 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th. Okay, it's a great way, again, if you sort of are able to internalize and memorize the major scale pattern, you're going to see this riff as just an outgrowth of that pattern, right? So. Okay, so that is the one string challenge. Again, I recommend biting that off, seeing if you can work it out when you're not watching this video. It's a good way to train your ear and just really test what you know. And another sort of challenge you can do here, and I have these written up in my practice notes again, is to play the riff, not on one string, but without the open A string. Meaning in the 3rd measure, we had this open A string. play it a few times. I don't like open strings in lead guitar a lot of the time because they ring out. You can't silence or control them. You can't apply vibrato in a reliable way. So what you could do is work out a way to play the riff where you never have to play that open A string. That would sound like this. So again, those are optional little exercises you can do, but I love pulling apart these fun ways we can create ear training challenges for ourselves as we learn riffs like this, right? Because it's not all about just learning the exact tabs for any one riff we want to play. If we can sort of understand what's happening and find little ways to challenge ourselves, right? Whether it's avoiding one open string, for example, and finding that 5th fret workaround, or doing it all on one string, it's just going to increase our understanding of all this stuff. So this is all my practice notes if you want to get a print-friendly version of all these tabs, and we'll be in good shape. All right, so next I want to talk about the key change that happens in this song, because a cool aspect of this song is the key changes 3 different times. We go from the key of E, then to the key of F, then to the key of F sharp, then to the key of G. And it's the same riff that's being played all the time. It's just every note is going up a half step as we move keys upwards by a half step, right? So it's not necessarily, though, as simple as adding a fret to everything we play, because we're going to have some stretches we want to avoid, and we're also going to have some new open strings we're going to be able to use if we want. So if we look at the key of F version, right? Let's look at the first line here. Again, take inventory of the notes. What are the notes we're going to use? Well, the lowest note we're going to play is this 1st fret note. At the very end of the first line, we have this 3rd fret note, right? Then we have the open 5th string, 1st and 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then open and 3rd fret on the 4th string. So if we take all those notes and play them from low to high, and back down again, now, where are these notes coming from? Well, the answer is what we looked at earlier. Remember how I said it was the E major scale, we just don't play the major 7th? That's exactly what's happening here. This is the F major scale. We're just not playing the major 7th of that scale. So practicing that will do you wonders in learning this riff faster and also internalizing that scale shape, okay? Now the riff itself, index and ring are going to be the sort of ruling fingers over the 1st fret and 3rd fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. We have this bend here, 3rd fret of the low E string, then back to the 1st fret of the low E. Okay. Now the tricky part about this this section, it poses some new challenges. One of them is going to be this roll of our fingers we're going to have to do, where we go from the 1st fret, for example. Let's look at the end of measure 2 and the beginning of measure 3. We're going to be on the low E string, 1st fret, and then we have to go to the 5th string, 1st fret. And our same finger is going to play both notes. So it's kind of like you're rolling it, right? It's a kind of an awkward motion at times. And then at the end of this 3rd measure and beginning of the 4th, same thing. From 3rd fret to 3rd fret, going from the B flat measure to the F measure, right? And then again, we have to go then to the 3rd fret of the low E string. So 3 3rd frets in a row. Let me play the whole first line for you. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and boom, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. So just be mindful of those rolls. They might be something that gives you trouble, okay? Now, things then go up in pitch from there. We're going to go to the key of F sharp and then to the key of G. Now, the good part about these is we use the same exact finger sort of approach for both of them. Our middle finger is going to play the root note. In this case, it's an F sharp, and we're going to have no open strings, which I love because it keeps things, your fingers are in control of everything. So middle, Couple challenges here. Number one, that bend is going to happen on the 4th fret. You can use your pinky to do it, but I find that that's tricky. So if you're going to do it like that, just be mindful of the difficulty, maybe practice, you know. Again, none of these things are easy at first, but putting in time and the reps is going to help us get better with things like bending with our pinky. So anyway, if we took inventory of these F sharp notes, if you're curious, again, practicing this, there's way worse things you could do. This is going to help you out, build your skills, build your finger dexterity. Your fingers are kind of know what they're going to expect. Okay, a little bit of improvisation there as we practice. And finally, we have the key of G riff. Again, it's the same thing as the F sharp. Everything is truly just moved up 1 fret though, okay? So same finger positions. Now, I didn't say this in the last section, F sharp, but if you want to bend with a finger that's not your pinky, you're allowed to. You could use your ring or your middle. I think middle, let's see, if you do ring, just remember you want to end up here on the root note with your middle finger. So if you bend it with your middle finger, you're going to have to slide it down, right? If you bend it with your ring, your middle will have an easier job, right? So anyway, just be mindful of what fingers you use. All right, so with that, we have all the different keys, the E, the F sharp, and the G. And if you want to see a playthrough of all of them in order, consecutively to a steady drum track, I have that as a separate video. You can reference, it's over on my lesson page. I have my drum track in the background, so you can hear it. And it's, again, you see me go through all these with tabs on screen. It's a great thing to reference if you want to build up to that, right? And it's slightly slowed down compared to what Duane Eddy plays in his album version. So that's over there. I have my sort of recommended jam track as well. If you want to practice over a similar 8-bar bluesy progression in E, you can use this riff over that, or just use any kind of improvisation you want if you want to work on triads or the blues scale or any of that stuff. So that's over there at the Song Notes website. And of course, my practice notes. All the stuff I've showed you here is available in a print-friendly format. Ready for you, right? It's going to give you the sort of guidance and walk you through everything I taught you and make sure you're in good shape. So thanks to all for watching this far. I hope you appreciated this lesson, all those of you who have requested this song, and those of you who are looking for more electric or lead guitar stuff. Let me know if these tips are helpful, and any other lead guitar songs you're interested in learning, let me know. I would love to help you out if I'm able, and there's enough votes and requests for anything in particular, I will jump on it. All right, so I'll see you in the next one, my friends. Take care, and bye-bye.